Sometimes a man's life can change with just a few drops left in a coffee cup. That morning, like always, I left my coffee half finished, just like I used to when I was a kid, and headed out to pick up my son from school. Everything seemed ordinary. The three-lane road was, once again, clogged in the middle. School traffic, same time, same street, same routine. When I pulled up in front of Rosemere Elementary School, the kids hadn't come out yet. I leaned back against the seat and stared out through the windshield. Familiar faces dotted the sidewalk. Other parents, some on their phones, some with little dogs in their arms. Everyone locked into the rhythm of their daily loop. And then I saw her. Someone new. Her presence was different, not in a striking or attractive kind of way. It was something else, something I couldn't name. She wore a simple gray raincoat. Even the elastic band in her hair was plain. But there was something inside her, some kind of quiet gravity that pulled at me. She dropped her keys from her bag. As she bent to pick them up, our eyes met. Just for a second. Not even a greeting. But in that one moment, something shifted. Something old inside me stirred. Jake ran up to me, and soon we were in the car. On the way home, I couldn't stop thinking about her. Why? I didn't even know her. When Sarah opened the door, she looked tired. Lately, she always did. Talking without breaking something between us had become harder and harder. As she prepared dinner, her back was turned to me. And I still had the image of that woman in my head. "How was your day?" Sarah asked, placing the plate in front of me. "It was fine," I said. "Did you bring Jake's jacket back from school?" "I think we left it there." Silence again. We'd been married for 8 years. Love hadn't completely disappeared, but it was like a thin film of habit had covered everything, even love itself. The next day, same time, same place. I parked in my usual spot. And yes, I looked for her. Pathetic, I know. But there she was. Same raincoat. Same steady pace. The kids were already out. She had a son too, about Jake's age. Another glance. This time she dipped her head ever so slightly. Did she smile? I wasn't sure, but I found myself nodding back. In that small, quiet gesture, a thread was tied. Driving home, I paid attention to the song on the radio. Something old, in the waiting line, the lyrics echoed in my ears. "Do you believe in what you see?" I didn't, but I could feel it. I've come to realize something. In life, some people you meet just once. Others you meet again and again, as if fate keeps pushing until you finally look up and see what you're meant to see. That week, I was at the school every day at the same time, and every day she was there too. The first day, it was just a glance. Then came the subtle nods, and then last Wednesday, we spoke for the first time. "Looks like rain's coming," she said softly. "Yeah," I replied, left the umbrella in the car. As always. That was it. But there was something in her voice that softened mine. I felt weirdly nervous, like someone had quietly tapped on a door I hadn't opened in years. I learned her name 2 days later. While our kids were playing on the school lawn, we stood nearby for a few minutes. Just the usual small talk. Then she brushed her hair back and said, "I'm Emily." "Grant," I replied, didn't offer a handshake. Strange, right? I don't know why, but I felt embarrassed. Turns out her son Leo is in the same class as Jake, which meant we were going to see more of each other. That evening at home was chaos. Jake spilled his milk in the kitchen. Sarah yelled. I stepped in. Then Sarah yelled at me, "Is it really that hard for you to take some responsibility for one night?" "He spilled milk, Sarah. It's not a disaster. You never take anything seriously." Silence. The kind that hums in your ears after a door slams, except no doors slammed. We just scattered, everyone into their own corners of the house. I stayed in the living room. TV was on, but I wasn't watching. My mind was somewhere else, still looping back to that short moment with Emily. Why are we so tense at home? When did everything get so sharp, so fragile? I remembered Emily's voice again. That calm way she spoke about the weather. Not dramatic. Not forced. Just present. Maybe I just wanted something different. Maybe I wanted to feel seen again. The next day, Emily walked toward my car as I waited. "Didn't expect you today," she said. "Got out of work early," I replied. "Rain's coming again." She dug through her bag and dropped a couple books. I bent down to help. Our fingers touched for a second. Just 1 second. She didn't apologize. She just smiled. And I did too. That night I looked her up on social media. Not much there. A few books she liked. 2 photos with her son, Leo. One looked older. She looked happier in it. Her face more open. Her smile more real. The caption beneath it read, "Only when we are no longer afraid do we begin to live." The Dorothy Thompson. That line pinned me to the night. When did I stop being afraid? Or, am I still afraid now? 2 days later, the rain finally came. Emily showed up at school without an umbrella. I leaned over and opened the car door. "You can wait in here if you want. The kids will be out in a minute." "You sure?" "It's not just about the rain. I'm up for conversation too." Emily smiled and shut the door behind her. Jazz was playing low on the radio. We didn't look at each other for a long while. We just sat there. Just that moment. Just us. We said almost nothing in the car that day. Emily stared out the window. I watched her from the corner of my eye. I wanted to say something. But what? There are different kinds of silence. Some are fragile, breakable, but this was something else. This silence felt like an agreement. Everything left unsaid was still right there between us. When Jake and Leo climbed into the back seat, I glanced at Emily. She smiled, tucked her hair behind her ear, reached for her bag, and I thought, I'm going to remember this moment one day, and I do. That night before bed, Sarah changed into a different pair of underwear. One I hadn't seen in years. Must have been new. She lay in bed facing away from me. I reached out to touch her shoulder. She pulled away. She didn't say a word, but sometimes silence hurts more than shouting ever could. The next day, Emily handed me a book after school. "This is the author you mentioned the other day, right?" "Yeah, but I don't remember telling you that." "You did," she said. It was just a quick sentence, but I heard it. Emily noticed things. In a world where people only saw the surface, she could read shadows. She picked up on my silence, on the noise I kept buried inside me. Friday night, Sarah left her phone in the bathroom. When a message popped up, I glanced at it. Reflex, really. A new number. One line. "Are we still good for tomorrow?" For a few seconds, everything in my head went still. A knot tightened in my throat. But with what? Anger? Jealousy? Was I looking for answers? Or just for an excuse? I put the phone back. Didn't say a word. Because I don't ask questions I already know the answer to. Once you ask, there's no turning back. And sometimes staying silent buys you time. But the war, that starts inside long before anyone speaks. The next day I saw Emily somewhere unexpected. A bookstore. I was with Jake. She was with Leo. Like the city was too small. Like the world kept shrinking until we had no choice but to stand side by side. "What a coincidence," she said. "Maybe it's not," I replied. We laughed, but her eyes didn't. We walked between the shelves while the kids wandered. Emily stopped and touched a book cover. "Some people enter your life like accidents," she said. "But maybe some accidents are planned by a part of us we don't even know." I didn't respond, because I wasn't sure what I felt anymore. That evening, Sarah didn't look me in the eye. She brought me tea, placed it down, like a stranger would. That night, the bed felt like ice. I turned one way. She turned the other. In the middle of the night, I heard Emily's voice echoing in my mind. Sometimes the loudest thing in the room is silence. At some point, silence just isn't enough. Your own mind starts talking, questioning. It's like there's another version of you sitting in the corner of the room, staring at you. What are you doing here? Ugh. Last week I met Emily again. It was a rainy Friday after school. At a cafe. This time it wasn't a coincidence. We didn't say it out loud, but we both knew. We were there, same hour, same street, and neither of us asked, "Why are you here?" We found a small table by the window. The kids weren't with us. For the first time, it was just the two of us. Emily didn't even look at the menu. When do you think people disappear, Grant? They don't disappear. They just become invisible. Isn't that the same thing? I don't think it is. Even I didn't quite believe what I was saying. But I could tell it landed. She didn't take her eyes off me. I got home late that night. Sarah didn't ask. I didn't explain. We both knew, but neither of us had the courage to name it. Lies don't always start with words. Sometimes they start with silence, and for a while that silence protects everything. The next day, Emily texted me. I don't remember when she got my number. The message was vague, but it was clearly an invitation. I'll be at the bookstore today. In case you're around. I told myself I wouldn't go, but I did. And that was the last lie I told myself that day. I spent 2 hours with her, just talking, laughing, listening, saying nothing, and meaning everything. That day what we didn't say meant more than anything we did. When I got home, Sarah was in the bathroom. The door was half open. Her phone screen was lit up. A conversation thread, same number, same person. But this time, the tone had changed. Was Grant home yesterday? Yeah, but he came back late. Didn't ask anything. Be careful. Looks like everything's ready. We'll talk when it's time. What I felt in my throat wasn't just doubt anymore. It was a plan. Something being built behind my back. And something in me finally shifted. That night I looked at Sarah differently. She was the same woman I'd known for years. But now she felt like a stranger. Whatever I had with Emily might have been an escape. But what Sarah was doing, it felt colder, sharper, less forgivable. The next morning I didn't meet Emily. I took a long walk instead. And one question echoed in my head. Who's guiltier? The one who thinks about crossing the line, or the one who already has? That morning I looked in the mirror, and for the first time my own face felt unfamiliar. The lines around my eyes had deepened, not just from age, but from weight. A heaviness I couldn't name but could no longer carry. Sarah wasn't home that day. For the first time in weeks, the house was silent, and I started noticing the little things. The scratch on the side of the coffee table, the emptied laundry basket, a note on the counter. Can you pick up Jake? My meeting might run late. Just a simple note. But buried inside, 1,000 unspoken words. Was it really a meeting? Or another kind of appointment? Trust had left the room a long time ago. All that remained was observation, reading between silences, chasing shadows. I hadn't spoken to Emily in a while. That distance was my decision. But it hurt. Like a part of me had gone missing. When I picked Jake up from school that afternoon, Emily was there. We locked eyes. 1 second, maybe 2, but this time there was something new in her gaze. Worry. Is something wrong? I asked. No, she said, but her voice trembled. I just thought too much today. I said nothing, because if you understand a sentence like that, you know there's nothing to say. That night I opened Sarah's laptop, something I swore I'd never do. But that line, I'd already crossed it somewhere inside myself. While scrolling through her emails, a folder caught my eye. Wells and Darling, confidential. Not our accountant. Not a name I recognized. Inside were documents. Financial records. Names. A signed consultation agreement. And a date. 3 weeks ago. It was a divorce preparation file. And I wasn't the one who contacted the lawyer. Sarah was. Were still a handwritten note attached. pre-settlement offer to be finalized, before confrontation with the other party. A future planned without me. What stung wasn't the betrayal itself. It was the fact that it was already in motion, and I hadn't even been invited into the fall. A voice inside me whispered, "Strike back." But another voice, "What if this is part of her game?" The next morning I met Emily for a short coffee. I didn't tell her anything, but she knew. "There's something I need to tell you," she said. I know, Sarah." Time froze. Sound dropped out. The world shrank, leaving only her face across from mine. We were in the same dorm in college. Not close, but we knew each other. When I moved here and saw her name, I remembered. "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because the more I got to know you, the harder it became to find the right time. And eventually it felt too late." And just like that, everything reset. Sarah's plan wasn't just about lawyers or secrets. There was something else. A web beneath the web. And suddenly, I wasn't just the betrayed one anymore. I wasn't the victim, not anymore. Some nights, sleep doesn't escape you because of exhaustion. It escapes because of indecision. That night I got out of bed 3 times, stepped onto the balcony twice, went to the kitchen for water once but couldn't swallow. Every time the same thought echoed in my head. This isn't just betrayal. It's a design. And I'm not just a piece on her board anymore. The next morning, as I dropped Jake off at school, Emily was waiting for me. That familiar restlessness still lingered in her eyes, but she wasn't afraid anymore. She looked prepared. "Sarah is playing a game with you, Grant," she said. I was on the sidelines. But now I know what's really going on. What she told me next, that broke something in me. Sarah hadn't been seeing a therapist. She was building a record with a psychologist Emily once knew from college. She'd claimed emotional abuse, hinted at self-harm. None of it was true. But the files, the witness statements, the clinical notes, they were all there. Sarah wasn't just planning to leave me. She was planning to erase me. From Jake's custody, from our shared home, from my reputation at work, all through official channels, all while smiling at dinner. I went home and waited for her. She walked through the door at 6:40 p.m. We locked eyes. No smile. No small talk. I pointed at the couch. "We need to talk." We didn't talk. We clashed. Our words were like punches. For the first time, Sarah looked like a stranger. Not sad, not guilty, just determined. "You haven't really been in this marriage for a long time, Grant. I just wanted to end it clean." "Clean? With fake reports? With psychological traps?" "I loved you," I said. "And what you're doing, it's not just against me. It's against your son." That shut her up. For the first time, she looked away. We didn't sleep that night. We stayed in separate rooms until sunrise. The next day I met with a lawyer, not to strike back, to protect myself. A week later, Emily moved away. We didn't say goodbye. She left a message. "Sometimes the right people meet at the wrong time, but I'm not sorry I met you. Take care of yourself." For Jake. So what am I doing now? Sarah and I are divorcing. Quietly, calmly. No headlines. No drama. But a fire has passed through me. It burned. And it rebuilt. Grant Miller is no longer just someone who was betrayed. Not someone out for revenge either. Just someone who survived. Is it over? No. Life doesn't end. But in this story, everyone got what they deserved.